And look at what we pulled off the steering wheel.
Right, and look how it's matte there and it's shiny there.
Matte, shiny. Is shiny clean leather, Ivan?
No, shiny leather is dirty leather.
10 tips and tricks to save you time detailing your interior.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. We're gonna give you 10 quick tips and tricks to make it easier for you to get through an interior detail, to get a better result and save time. First thing, we need to evaluate the interior. We need to take a look at it and empty everything out of the interior. Door pockets, back seat pockets, everything. If you're detailing your own vehicle, take all the stuff away. If you're detailing a customer's vehicle, have them take everything out. And one little thing we told our customers is, if it's still in the car, it's considered garbage.
So that's how communication is a big part of this before you get on the inside.
Right.
So the tip that I actually wrote down, if we're gonna stay formal with this, is remove the carpets, blow out the interior, and do a quick vac.
Right. So before removing the carpets, though, you have to get rid of the loose garbage.
Yep. So we start with all the stuff, the chunks of,
Yeah. And let's start blowing. Now, we're using this. You could use a Tornador, or you could actually use your vacuum cleaner. And your vacuum cleaner, if you put the hose on the other side, can become a blower. Now, it's not as efficient as compressed air.
Ivan, there are a lot of ways to get the compressor to work for you.
Right.
There's the Tornador, there's the Vortex, there's so many different named, blow guns out there.
Right, and there's just the straight, good old-fashioned blowgun too. The difference between the two is this one is just a straight stream of air. Now I like to blow from the back forward. That way, anything that's under the seats gets out of there, etc. We took the liberty of taking the roof off and the back seat out of this Jeep because that's an easy thing to do on this. Might not be easy on your vehicle.
It's for the visual so you can actually see us working on the interior. They're harder to film than you think. You could also take your leaf blower, right?
Yeah.
The power of air to blow out an interior when it's still dry is huge.
Exactly. Then, the Tornador. So basically what we're doing is getting that loose stuff off the surface and moving it forward. So Nick, if you want to blow under your seats.
And how can you describe the importance of blowing from the back to the front?
There's usually a lot more dirt and anything else on the driver's floor. You don't want to bring that from the front to the back. You want to bring the little bit of dirt that's in the back, and it grows as you move forward.
So the goal is to blow everything forward and then blow it out, or vacuum it at that point?
A quick vacuum at that point. And we won't be doing a complete vacuum at this point, just a little vacuum. Now, if for some reason when you've blown it out or there's not that much, like this Jeep isn't that dirty, you don't need to do that pre-vacuum, but it is a nice thing to do if you have a lot of accumulation there.
And I've done a lot of interiors, Ivan.
Yeah.
Tornador is sometimes exactly what the carpet is calling for. Sometimes it's this. So you will decide based on the dog hair, the nature of the carpet fibers, which tool is serving you on which job.
Now, speaking of dog hair, the next little tip. That's not blowing.
It's just lodging from here, right?
Yeah, but that's hard on your carpet.
Oh, it is.
And you're creating lines that will be hard to get out later.
That may not even come out, right?
No. So the whole idea is you're loosely blowing, Nick. You're not. That's all you're doing.
I wanted the Tornador, but I came back to this.
Yeah.
So I did what I wanted to do, which is get all the crap out.
Yeah. That's what the vacuuming is for. You're getting the loose stuff off the surface.
Yep.
You're not working everything out of the carpet.
Well, remember, if I'm doing it, remember someone else is out there doing it too.
Yeah.
One thing we've just realized is I'm trying to do everything right now.
Right.
That's not the goal.
No. The goal is just to get the loose stuff that is loose. And for myself, it's just doing this. That's it. Nick was doing this.
Because I want it to be perfect right now.
Yeah, no, because you're gonna be moving dust around, you're gonna be moving dirt around. Now, if you're washing your own car or a customer's car, start off by first doing this, then close the doors, wash the outside. Wash your door jambs, get that done. That'll give time for the dust to settle.
Got it.
Now, we mentioned dog hair, another trick. Our interior clean and protect. This is great for helping to remove dog hair. How? It's anti-static. So what we do, we don't get the carpet wet. We literally just put a little mist on the carpet, let it dry. So we've blown the carpet, there's still dog hair here. We put a little mist on it, let it sit while you're doing something else. Once it dries, it becomes anti-static and it helps the vacuum cleaner pick up the dog hair.
Again, the goal is not perfect carpeting, all dog hair removed first.
No.
We're doing this in steps.
Right. The first step, the first blowout is just that. You're just blowing out the loose stuff. That's it, nothing more.
If I say it enough and ask you enough, I might learn.
Yeah, exactly. That little mist of interior clean and protect, again, for dog hair is an amazing thing. That anti-static will help remove that.
So I'm gonna just blow
Quickly. You're overdoing it. It's a quick, you're not trying to clean the carpet, Nick, you're just getting the dust off the surface, nothing more.
Say it again, Ivan.
You're just getting the dust off the surface. You're doing it way too much.
So is this where I was losing all my time on interiors?
Yes.
How's that?
You're done. Move on.
Aren't I trying to get it through under?
You already did.
Okay, I'm done. I think we did a good job.
Another tip is your hose, whether it be the vacuum hose, whether it be the air hose, don't cross it through the vehicle. 1/2 at a time. So if you're doing the passenger side, have your vacuum cleaner or the air line on the passenger side. If you're doing the driver's side, have those tools on the driver's side. Don't be bringing the air hose or the vacuum hose through the vehicle, over the dash, over the console, etc., etc. Next step, get the floor mats out of there. And actually, that should have been first. But that was part of removing all the stuff from the interior. And don't dump this on the floor, go dump it in the garbage can.
That sounds smart.
Have a garbage can close by. I've seen a lot of detail shops where we go in and everything that they take out of the interior goes on the floor. Not the best way to do it.
A garbage can close by, you say, Ivan?
Yep.
Here we go. Garbage can and floor mats. Am I just taking them out and leaving them?
No, we're gonna clean them. And we're gonna pre-clean them. Spray a bit of rinseless wash on those.
Just your run-of-the-mill garden sprayer, nothing special. We're just getting the rinseless on the surface, right, Ivan?
Yeah. That's it, you're good. The more moisture you bring into an interior, the more moisture you bring into an interior, the more you have to remove. So making them too wet like Nick did, it's a waste of your time and a waste of product.
I just want the pool in there to keep, if it dries on me, the dwell time is over in my head.
No, you just lightly re-wet it. It's fine.
Okay.
Because when you go to clean that, Nick, you're going to be dealing with all that moisture again. Every drop of moisture you bring into an interior, you have to remove from the interior.
I might actually listen in another 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just going to take about 10 years of you saying this stuff over and over. We advise you to listen to Ivan the first time, folks. For some reason, I'm like, it doesn't matter if I spray a bunch of rinseless everywhere because it's going to keep cleaning better. Ivan says less is more. This is too much. Choose who to listen to.
Now, carpeted floor mats. Many people, the first thing they do, get out their pressure washer and pressure wash the floor mat. Not a great thing to do.
It only takes about 3 days for those to dry.
Yeah, it takes a long time to dry, but not only that, as soon as you're introducing moisture, the dirt that's in there now becomes mud. And there are ways to get rid of it. My favorite is right here.
Ivan, that looks like a fancy tool. We're DIY detail here.
This is a $20 tool with a $5 brush.
Okay.
A lot of people use a drill brush, and the drill brush is fine, but the drill brush just turns. This oscillates and turns. So you get the benefit of vibration. And vibration on a carpet is a great thing. Now, normally you would have this, if you're in a shop environment and you have a detailing shop, have some way of hanging the mats on the wall. And from there, as long as you're not getting moisture on a mat, most of the time, this is all you need. Because that dirt is dry. And if that dirt is dry, you're taking it off dry. The only time you need to introduce moisture is if you have a stain that you need to go after. But most of the time, it's just dirt from your shoes or salt on the carpet and it's going to brush off.
Ivan is an expert at what you need to do and what you don't need to do to save time. You've made all the mistakes over 40 plus years of detailing. There's gonna be people out there who are like, you're missing 7 steps, Ivan.
Yeah. This brush is also great for dog hair.
I could think about my own detailing career. I would have like hot water extracted this and put an air mover on it. I would have spent a half an hour on this.
Yeah.
The customer's gonna see this, it's gonna be totally clean. They're gonna be stoked.
Right, because again, as long as you don't put moisture on it, you're not creating mud. When you create mud, that becomes difficult to remove. When you're dealing with something dry, it's very easy to remove. Let's go back to the interior.
Okay.
Nick and I are going to show 2 different methods. I like to use a rinseless dampened towel. So I've got our interior cleaning towel, and by the time you see this video, hopefully our new one will be out. This is the older version. We have a better one coming soon. This is the same bucket that we use to wash the exterior of the vehicle. And look how clean the towel is, because the rinseless wash cleans itself. At the same time, this is our interior cleaning towel. We say a rinseless dampened towel. We don't want a rinseless wet towel. The more you wring it out, the drier it is, the better it's going to be.
Ivan, another tip for interior detailing efficiency. Any little cup holder or insert you have like this, it's perfectly safe to go in our wash bucket while we detail the vehicle.
Yeah, so we can remove it and put it in the wash bucket. Don't forget it there. I know someone who has. Inside the cup holder, first of all, get rid of the little remaining stuff. Throw it in the garbage over there. There's 2 strategies for these cup holders that may have had a spill or 2. One is, Nick, you're actually gonna spray in there. Spray just in one of them.
Okay, this one's dirtier. Can I spray in that one?
Yeah, sure. Good. Now, you don't want it too wet. You just want the bottom covered. And the other way is take your towel.
Your rinseless wash dampened towel.
Yeah, and wring it out in there.
Should I freak out that you got droplets everywhere?
No, we'll be fixing that up later.
Okay.
Now, one thing about this, if you're not sure, just take a towel that's a little more than damp and just set it in there and let it sit there while you're working on the interior. Then everything will wipe out with ease.
And this is not an all-purpose cleaner. It's not
No.
all clean. So we're not worried about a little rinseless drying here or there. We're not
No.
going to be damaging anything.
Not at all. Now, strategy for working on an interior as a team. The driver's side has the steering wheel to deal with. Therefore, the person working in the team on the passenger side should take care of the console. So the console person from here over is the passenger side, from here over is the driver's side, because Nick will have the steering wheel, the column, all the controls to deal with. That takes a little extra time. That way the person on this side can do this. Now, we didn't do a pre-vacuum because there wasn't enough in here. We blew it forward. You can see what accumulated on the floor. There's a few little things, nothing major. We don't need to worry about it.
Is the strategy to vacuum at the end?
At the end, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I have my rinseless dampened towel. When you're working on an interior, always work from the top down and the center out. So top down, I'm going to start with my A-pillar, working across the windshield header, getting my visor, and before it dries, I take a dry towel. Because if I let it dry on itself, I'm just redepositing the dirt that was there.
Now, what about the idea of using an air compressor to do a lot of my cleaning?
The air compressor will have its place, but if you're just blowing this dust around, you're just blowing dust around. We want to remove the dust from the surface. This is how we remove the dust from the surface. And you see what I picked up on the towel, and you can see the fluffy stripes hold the dirt, whereas the scrubbing stripes hold no dirt. When the scrubbing stripes start being dirty looking, that is when you want to change towels. Yeah.
So you have that visual cue,
Yeah,
and right now it's just the dark is on every other.
right. And now, every drop of moisture I put in, I need to take out. That's where the second towel is. And I'm taking the dirt and dust with it. When it comes to vents, There's a lot of strategies to clean these. A lot of people will use little brushes and get in there and have all sorts of fun with the brush, and that's fine if that's what you like. For myself, I like being a little more efficient. So I'm gonna wipe the face of it. The Jeep vents are a little different than most. Most you'll just have the little stripes. These are like little balls. So I'll clean the other side. But now you want to clean in between these.
And this comes to maybe one of my favorite tips that I've ever learned from you when it comes to exterior or interior detail.
Yeah. Take your interior towel, drape it over the vent. You blow through the towel, then you blow the excess moisture, and now I've got a perfectly clean vent. Just need to dry this little face off here. Dry this one off, and we're good to go. When I'm done on a vehicle, I always place all the vents the same. And in the case of a Jeep, I actually like to leave them closed. It gives a nice finished look.
Oh, okay.
Now, since I'm on the passenger side, I'm doing the center console. We have the screen here that's quite dirty. A rinse and dampen towel will clean the little navigation screen quite easily. So again, let me get to the cleaning side. And I'm just gonna do half of the screen because Nick is gonna show you how he does it with the interior clean and protect. So we have Nick's fingerprints all over this. One thing you never wanna do on a radio is use compressed air. So the towel is thin enough, and a thick towel is not your friend on an interior. So the little corners and cracks, I can easily clean with a towel.
And watch putting too much pressure along these edges, because if you were to somehow drive it in there, you can't really clean away damage to any of these screens. And they're all different, from Audi to BMW to Jeep. Nice and careful, no pressure, that's the way to do it, right? You just don't want to be the person responsible for the damage.
Yeah.
Now, Ivan has one method. I kind of like to just spray willy-nilly.
Whoa,
You know me, Ivan.
Yeah. Never spray a chemical on an interior. There's a couple reasons for that. If you're spraying on an interior, you can actually sometimes super clean an area, especially if it's warm. The other thing is, the more moisture you bring in, the more you have to take out. So instead of spraying this with the liquid and potentially getting a drop down in there where it doesn't belong, spray your towel instead.
So like 10 sprays?
2.
Come on. Oh, that's probably, I just needed like 2 full sprays.
Right. Now rub the towel together to spread the liquid on it.
In reality, that was probably about 4. All right, so we've rubbed the towel.
Yeah, that's good.
Now it's primed, you could say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now clean your half of the screen.
That's plenty of product. He was instructed to clean the screen, and I went way outside the lines.
And then use your dry towel to pick it up.
Now, I don't have my dry towel with me at the moment, but I do have yours, so I'll do that. One tip when you're doing interior exterior detailing, how important is preparing all your tools so that it's all ready for you, so you don't have to literally get back out to my cart? I mean, talk about the efficiency gaps there.
So extremely important. And one second. You'll notice, look at the screen. Nick was a little slow. He was talking. And which is the damp side? Oh, there it is. Okay. He let it dry on the surface. We want to wet it and dry it before Mother Nature can do it. See how clean the screen is now?
Yeah, so just work in a section and get it done.
Yeah, 1 towel to wet, 1 towel to dry.
What about getting all into here? I would think compressed air, but you say not on electronics?
Well, you can on electronics, but you have to be gentle with it and make sure your towel is almost dry. That's the most important part of this. The drier it is, the easier it's going to be. Then from there, I'm just gonna drape it over and give it a quick
compressed air is your friend, everybody. I know being gentle around electronics is great, but that shows you the power of the towel and the air.
Yeah.
To get into all the nooks and crannies.
Right. And you see a difference between your side of the screen and mine.
Your edges are a little cleaner.
Yeah.
I kind of want rinseless now, but I love interior clean and protect.
Yeah, you just have, it's just the way, you just have to use your tip of your finger. You don't need more on your towel, it's wet enough as it is. Then you just get in there and then dry it before it dries.
Dry it rapidly. Yep.
There you go. Now, the top of your dash there is quite dusty. If you were to blow that away, you'd have moisture everywhere.
Yep.
Or you'd have dust everywhere.
We're going top down. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah.
Look, we just picked up. I guess I could get my own dry towel, huh? What do you think?
It might not be a bad idea.
Now, interior clean and protect is fine if it gets on glass.
Yeah, you can actually use it as a glass cleaner if you want.
It's not my favorite glass cleaner. I'm gonna grab my dry towel, Ivan. It's not my favorite glass cleaner because rinseless wash is so phenomenal. That's why I love rinseless wash on interiors, because you can kind of do two things at once.
Right, but if you washed your car with Incredible Suds, you won't have a bucket of rinseless wash sitting around.
Could you put that in the rinseless wash bucket as well?
Yep.
Look at that. And when we come back, it'll be so much easier to just wipe down and dry.
Now the Jeep doesn't have switches on the door like your traditional vehicle because the doors are meant to be removed. But those window switches that you have on your doors, like the ones we have here, you can do the same thing that I'm going to do here, which is you want to get in under the switch, which is difficult to do with a towel or even a brush, and brushes bring too much moisture into the situation. Whereas this, and I wipe off the excess. Same thing that I did with the vents on the other side, I'll do here. Now Nick, show your towel before you touch the steering wheel with it.
Okay, so this is the clean side. I put a few sprays of interior clean and protect, probably 2 sprays too many. That's my style, I suppose. And we're just gonna clean half the steering wheel, Ivan.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between doing it this way versus rinseless wash, for example?
The same result.
Okay.
But interior clean and protect is anti-static as well. So it leaves anti-static protection.
And look at what we pulled off the steering wheel.
Right, and look how it's matte there and it's shiny there.
Matte, shiny. Is shiny clean leather, Ivan?
No, shiny leather is dirty leather.
Okay, so we want our steering wheel to look like this.
Right.
Now, is this done? No, because the scrubby side, the scrubby parts are still in that zebra stripe. When these in-between lines start to get dirty, that's a signal that it's time to flip our side.
Yep.
That's a very easy cue, isn't it?
It is.
And I am not scrubbing super hard, right? There's
No.
a point of no return where we're removing the coating on the leather. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, you don't need to scrub hard. Let the chemical do the job for you.
Oh, it's so nice. All that greasy griminess is gone.
Yeah. Now, open up your towel to a slightly damp area, not a wet area.
So this area is still damp, Ivan.
Yeah. So basically what we want to do is show the dust there first.
Okay.
So you always have a minute little line of dust that accumulates around there.
Maybe hard to see on camera, but if you've ever been in a vehicle before, which
Yeah.
chances is you have, obviously, behind the driver's side, you know that these are areas that gather a lot of dust and dirt.
Right. So blow through and then blow off.
What a detail we're getting here on this Jeep. Wow. And then we can do that on all these switch areas
Yeah.
into this crevice here.
Same thing.
So just into there, and then blow off. Oh, it's beautiful, Ivan.
Now, steering wheel, very important. Don't forget the back side. Nick's got some buttons on the back here for the radio control. So
I'll just get this one last. That was okay. And then I'm gonna go back to the scrubbing behind the steering wheel.
Right.
Yeah, as a detailer, behind the wheel, always make sure to be looking where someone had their hands.
Yeah.
A customer may notice it later, Ivan.
Yeah.
So I'm just drying this side here. So we've done all this with interior clean and protect, but we have a rinseless dampen towel here.
Yeah.
Rinseless dampen towel here, just to show it also does a great job at cleaning. And again, as I do this, Ivan, am I using a lot of pressure on the wheel?
No, if it feels like you're working, you're doing something wrong, and pressure is never your friend.
Wow, just on that quadrant right there.
Yeah.
That's how much I picked up. And this Jeep was detailed on the channel within the last 6 months of filming.
Yeah, the steering wheel is always the dirtiest part of a car.
Is there such a thing as too much cleaning of a steering wheel? Again, I've run through my Subaru Legacy 2017 to the point where the coating has worn off from so much wear and tear. I have 180,000 miles on it. Like, I don't want this Jeep steering wheel to like degrade. So what's the best way to maintain it?
Well, a lot of wear and tear, and knowing you probably use some very harsh chemicals on it too.
A lot of all-purpose cleaners over the years,
Rinseless wash or interior clean protect is all you need.
I'm learning my lessons, as I said.
Yeah.
Either listen to him now or be like me and have it take you 10 years of mistakes to be like, oh yeah, Ivan was actually right.
Now, speaker grills. That's another thing that always needs to be cleaned. On the Jeep, the speaker grill is on the dash. It's not on the door because the door is meant to be removed and you still want your tunes even though the door isn't there. So we take our rinseless dampen towel, we take our compressed air, but we're never blowing into the speaker. We're blowing across the speaker grill.
Can you show the difference again in that?
Yeah, we don't want to blow into, we want to blow across.
That looks almost like down, but across is the down and across?
Yeah, well, not into, across. Down, however you want to put it.
Okay, so it doesn't matter the angle, it's just a...
Yeah, just not blowing into. You can go this way, you can go this way, you can go this way, it doesn't matter.
When Ivan sounds like he's on the verge of impatience, that's when I know we're at a breakthrough teaching moment. That's a great looking speaker, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, now, other things that often get forgotten. The mirror here, and it's full of fingerprints.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the little mirror here, which isn't looking good at all. So you can see how bad that is.
Yep, that's a rinseless dampen towel. That's a dry towel.
Yeah, and this probably has never been cleaned, so it might take a pass or two just to get the lint off of it.
So I probably should have started up here, right? We go top down.
And if you see that sudsing, that's telling me you have way too much product on your towel.
See, to me, that's just the perfect amount.
No.
Sudsing is too much, huh, with the Very Clean and Protect?
Now, you've seen it on Instagram where people are trying to take a little brush and get suds and everything. That's all cute and well, but that's really not doing you any service. What people want to see on Instagram and things like that is this.
Spraying on an interior with a brush?
Yeah, and
I love it. Oh, well, it's amazing.
Then doing this and getting sudsing. Now, ours doesn't suds that much. If you want it to suds, put a bit of incredible suds in it.
Just like a drop.
Yeah.
If you put too much, you think you're being creative, it's too much. Literally a drop of incredible suds in your 16-ounce bottle will give you more suds, if you want that.
But look at all the work I just had to do.
And now you have all that splatter on the windshield.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I'm kind of excited to showcase our window cleaning tips.
Yeah.
But stay to the end for that, because that's when you clean glass, is at the end.
Right.
Ivan, if folks are using all your methods and they're like, there's still more grime, like for example, right here, I don't know if you can see in there, is it time to pull out all clean, all-purpose cleaner? Because you see right in that edge, there's some grime.
Yeah.
So it hasn't moved. And I've got ideas of, should I grab a toothpick? Should I grab a credit card?
Toothpick.
A dental pick. Like there's ways to get creative on an interior.
A wooden toothpick would do the job there.
Okay.
A brush. Does absolutely nothing.
Right, that's a real soft bristle brush.
Yeah.
All right, Ivan, so can we see this little brown line there? Yeah, so a little bit of a oh, perfect. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
And if for some reason there's a little bit left, no one's gonna see it, but could you put a little on your tooth? Like, how would you get to that? Oops, I accidentally sprayed it. It's all gone. Okay.
Yeah.
So get a little creative.
Yeah.
Leverage air, and don't be spraying everywhere.
No.
And the brushes are overrated. Got it.
Now, brushes, though, they do have their place occasionally. This is one of them. So I'm just gonna agitate all this gunk down here with the brush.
That's the interior clean and protect side. That's the rinseless side.
There we go. And then we take our towel and just shove it in there and spin it around.
You're an artist, Ivan.
And then I like to just use my finger on the edge of the towel and just work around the edge to get all that moisture out of there.
Amazing. So what are people doing where they're kind of getting it wrong or making their lives too difficult on an interior?
Too much moisture. Moisture is never your friend on an interior. The drier you can do it, the better it is. Speaking of which, let's show them how to clean the seat. On the seat, there's some staining here. And we don't know what it is. It's been there for a while. We want to clean that seat. One way of doing so is a DA polisher. Yes, you heard me, a DA. Some interior clean and protect, and I'm not spraying on the seat. I'm spraying on my wool pad. So a couple sprays on the wool pad. Next, I'm going to grab this, bring it down to speed 2 or 3. Then using a dry towel, remove the excess moisture. Seat is cleaned and dry.
Can we talk about the benefits of this versus hot water extraction?
Right, so hot water extraction, more moisture you bring into the vehicle, more moisture you need to remove from the vehicle.
Yep.
Hot water extraction takes a lot of time. Other things, this seat has seat heaters in it. This seat has an occupancy sensor. This seat doesn't have airbags, but most seats today have airbags in the side. All things that don't like being wet.
That makes sense to me.
And we want to clean the fabric. We don't want to, with hot water extraction, a lot of things that happen. If you go to a junkyard, buy a seat. Clean half the seat the way I just showed, clean the other side with hot water extraction, then cut the fabric, take it off. The hot water extraction side, you've actually made the foam underneath the fabric dirty. The way we've done it here, the foam stays clean because we're not soaking it and forcing some of that down. The extraction is good, but also that amount of liquid that you're putting on the seat is actually driving the dirt out of the fabric into the foam. And that you're never gonna get out.
Never.
No, hot water extractors are great for home carpeting. They're not the best for car interiors.
And I hear enough detailers now saying they're basically ready to throw theirs out that I gotta honor that. I still have enjoyed hot water extraction. It's given me results, but I've introduced a lot of moisture and you gotta buy $100 plus air movers and get 4 of them in the car. It's just really difficult to dry out what you've introduced.
Yes.
And I don't know what damage or potential liability I had introduced at those times either.
The less moisture you use, the better it is. If you have leather seats, it's exactly the same process. Use our wool pad, interior clean and protect, and you don't want to polish leather seats long enough that you're damaging the leather. Just 1 or 2 quick passes, that's all you need. You'll be surprised how quickly it works and how little amount of effort you need to put in. Using our wheel and body brush, it's a great tool.
Ivan, you didn't do any all clean on these mats.
No, it's not necessary. Now, this is the one that had a little less moisture in it. And let's put it over near our drain.
What about introducing all clean first instead of rinseless wash?
Use the rinseless wash first. If after you've cleaned it, it's not clean, then use all clean. But 99% of the time, this is all you need. People really overthink this.
You know what we mentioned earlier? And it's not exactly the perfect tool here, but trust me, there's gonna be times where you're like, oh, I can't get that rock out of a little toothpick to get this little rock out. It beats a pressure washer where you're blasting the...
Yeah.
I have damaged floor mats with a pressure washer.
Yes.
You get too close, you cut right through the plastic, permanent damage.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of a low moisture clean. Anyway, I just saw that little rock stuck in there, and again, I'm always reaching for the all clean, Ivan. People at home can choose their own adventure. What I want you to show us is your method, and we'll judge the results.
Yeah, and you missed a spot.
Not surprised. Yep, because there was a little grime there.
And
See,
then,
I miss spots and then I get them later, whereas you're just trying to save the extra 7 steps after we,
yeah.
you know.
So we'll let those drain out of water and we'll do our windows while we're waiting. While you're putting the brush back in the wash bucket, what did you find?
Well, I found my my plastics.
Yeah, use the brush.
The brush?
They're textured. That brush will help get in that texture.
Now,
Do it over the bucket so you're not dripping all over the floor.
These were not overly dirty, but just soaking them in rinseless
Yeah.
was super helpful. And then, look at that. Look at that, Ivan.
Like new.
So this, if my towel were a little drier, will be ready to go back in the interior. And it looks nice too.
Yeah.
It's important to make sure if you take these out, you don't forget about them. You put them back in. You don't want to call back from a customer a couple days later. Hey, I'm looking for this one piece. Do you have it?
And you've dumped your bucket out and it's long gone.
Yeah, I just don't want that to ever happen. I want the job to be over when it's over. Of course, when things do go wrong as a professional, it's how you make them right that I think can win you a customer for life. So mistakes can happen, but we want to avoid them at all costs. All right, as I put this back in, Ivan, you've got a window cleaning philosophy that you want to share.
Right. My rinseless dampened towel, and it's as dry as I can get it. I want to dry it even more, so I'll give it one last wring just to make sure. Okay, I got 5 or 6 drops out of it. Basically, the drier the towel is, the easier it will be to clean your windows. You need a little bit of moisture, but the more moisture you put in the interior, again, the more you have to remove. Now, don't look at the window when you're cleaning it. Because when you're looking at it, what happens is your eyes are telling you one thing, but your hands are feeling another, and your brain values what your eyes see over what your hands feel. Now it's feeling nice and smooth. I don't have many windows to clean here, but normally I would do this one, then I'd do the back door window. But no back door window, it's a 2-door Jeep. Let Mother Nature do part of the work for you. You want to make sure that that moisture is almost evaporated before you start trying to dry it. And you'll notice my towel. This towel has been through the laundry many, many times. I use the oldest, crustiest towel we have because it has no more lint to give. Now that we're almost dry, actually no, we're not almost dry. It's humid in here today. Nick, start with your philosophy there, and by the time you're done, mine will be ready.
Now, folks, it's time for my super involved, never simple, overly redundant glass cleaning method that will guarantee you streak-free results. I like a Nick's favorite glass towel, it's what it's actually called. Just launder these separately and then store them together if you can. You don't have to have a new one. I use way more glass cleaner than Ivan ever would. And what I'm doing is, I'm always emphasizing a clean side. So I use a clean side to break through all that grime, I'm boxing the corners, and then I'm immediately leveling with a clean side. Ivan doesn't like to work hard. I like to put a little bit of pressure on there. And then for my final, I'm gonna go for a clean side. Again, I'm not reintroducing any crystal clear. I'm boxing one more time. And then, because I like extra steps, a clean side again. I promise you folks, if you do it that way, it's gonna work well. If for some reason you can't get that final streak, I go to one more clean side. I do 2 sprays of panel prep, and then any possible streaks are gone. A lot of steps, but trust me, it works. It look good? I don't see any streaks there. Same principles apply on the interior windshield, Ivan.
So now we look at this, it's almost dry. I take my towel, I don't look at the glass. I feel the glass. Making sure to get all the edges, and then I fill in the center. Now, you'll notice I'm going up and down. That's very important. On the outside, I'm gonna go left to right. That way, if for some reason there happens to be a streak, I'll know which side is on.
Ivan did a stellar job. I'm just gonna repeat this on the windshield. So I've put a couple sprays of crystal clear, and now I'm gonna work boxing this section. Then I'm gonna go to a dry side of Nick's favorite glass towel. Boom. Oh, it's a beautiful thing, Ivan. It's a beautiful thing. We love clean glass around here, don't we?
Definitely.
Boom, and just like that, we're good. I can use that same method with the already damp side of my towel. Just gonna box the edges of the mirror here. Go to a dry side. Oh my goodness, I'm blinded by the light. If that's a little wet still, I'll just hit it with the dry side. Woo, looking good.
Now to make it easier to not confuse wet and dry sides, just have a dry towel.
Ooh, that makes sense, Ivan.
Now for the windshield, for me, on a Jeep, I like to stand outside the vehicle. It's just easier to reach. And again, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. There's no point pushing moisture around. Trying to lift moisture off a surface with a towel is sort of a pointless task.
One thing folks don't hear us talk about much is that you can use crystal clear in the exterior glass as well. So I've got a different towel here, which I'm gonna just reserve as my exterior glass towel. And I go wet side, and I go dry side. Now tell me again about how you like to go in one direction on the outside, Ivan, and another direction on the inside.
Yeah, that way if you have a streak, you can see which side the streak is on. Because if you left a streak on the inside and you're going left to right on the inside and up and down on the outside, then you're fine.
I'm just gonna clean your exterior glass. So whatever we see is whatever we see. And as soon as I'm done with that, I'm gonna put these arms down, because as we talked about in the wash video, we don't want these arms up for any longer than they have to be.
Yeah.
Mitigating against any potential wind gust or anything that could.
Now that the interior is almost dry, I'm just gonna go over it with my towel. And you wanna keep your towel nice, folded, and flat. That way you have more surface area. You don't wanna bunch up your towel. There we have it. Streak free on both sides.
Now, there are the oil change stickers. There are the random things that get put here that can sometimes leave a residue behind.
Yeah.
I've used plastic razor blades and panel prep in the past. Do you have any solution for folks who may see a sticker like this or the residue left behind and just want crystal clear glass?
Tree sap remover. A little drop of tree sap remover on a towel, rub it over the adhesive, it'll take care of it. We have to finish the floor mats, and to do so, Mother Nature helped dry them a little bit, but not much, so we're gonna force the issue a little bit. And we're not worried about them being perfectly dry.
I know we have a couple options here once we have sprayed off the mat. So we sprayed off most of the rinseless wash. They look good, but when they dry, are they gonna look as good as new? That's the big debate, or that's the big struggle with detailers. You might look faded, you might look a little brown gungy residue, and you're like, I wanna deliver something more exceptional for my customer.
Right. Now, if it's a brand new mat, start off with interior ceramic, and the passenger side mat on this vehicle did not see a lot of use.
So while it's still wet with a little rinseless, interior ceramic's not the end of the world?
No, not for a rubber mat. And then work it in with a brush. We're gonna have a nice clean mat. Now this will not impart any shine or anything to the mat once it's completely dry.
What's the benefit of interior ceramic? Because we didn't even talk about that as a way to protect your interior other than a mat.
Yeah, it's great for protecting any interior surface. You need to have a perfectly clean surface first, and then interior ceramic, you spread it just like you do on the outside of the vehicle, meaning go over it with an applicator and then immediately with a towel to prevent any high spots. On the mat, I'm not really concerned about it because I've spread it nice and evenly with the brush and we're good to go. And these textured mats, they're fine that way. Now for the other mat, the driver's mat, it's showing a little wear, showing a little age to it. Bit of our tire dressing, not much, just a couple sprays, and then, just like the other side, work it in with the brush. And no, the tire dressing will not make it slippery, will not make it gungy, will not make it sticky. Once it dries to a velvety smooth finish. Now, this has very deep ridges, so that's why I'm working the brush in a circular motion like this to get all the bristles around these areas. And once this is dry, it'll be nice and clean, dark, but not slippery in any way.
And ready to hit the road.
Ready to hit the road. Speaking of hitting the road, I think this is enough.
I think this is perfectly enough, but folks may want to know, how do I really lay down interior ceramic on an interior?
Yeah.
We have a full how-to guide, a step-by-step tutorial. Protecting your interior has never been easier. And you can find that video right here.